with CJ and Jester.
Saturday, February 8th.
Good morning, Grenada, Carriacou, Petite Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, also North America, Asia, Africa, and every one of you that's listening worldwide. Good morning to all our Take Five fans and family. Good morning to you, Jester, and how are you?
Good morning to you and the viewers and listeners of the Stick 5 Mental Health Program.
It is Tuesday, the 25th of February. Do you realize we are almost at the end of another month?
Oh, yes, at the ending of this week.
And this one has just has a 20, how many, 28 days?
28 days.
28. So we are just 3 days away from the end of the month. Wow.
That's true. And thinking about the ending of the month in February, I think about people like Fit Philip, who usually celebrate on the 29th
That's
of
the leap year
February.
children.
Yes.
They have to cut that day short. Believe me, when I say they have to cut it short because it's only 28
Yeah.
days that February has in a normal lunar year.
And my daughter nearly ended up like that.
Yeah. It's
Her
every
own is
4
on
years, eh?
Her own is on the 28th.
Oh, so, okay.
So
20th
Friday,
of February.
she'll be celebrating.
Wait, today's what day? The 25th? Oh,
Yeah, today is the 25th.
okay. Denise is going to be on the 27th. I have to remember that to call her and
That's
say, what's
Thursday,
up?
please God.
Yeah. I don't remember birthdays and thinking about I know they're there and they're my peeps and, whatever. But you see, nobody wants to celebrate when they're getting older. They'll never tell you the age or anything like that, but it's, oh, I have another day coming up and yeah, but I have to say, tell a caller and say, hey, I know you're on another one, so let's go. Um, yes, Coffee, we are ready whenever you are. You can call in.
Some
So,
people like to keep the age private.
well, I mean, you can. It's up to them.
It's up to
There's
them.
no hard and fast rule that say you have to tell somebody your age. You know. So it is 10:02. We're waiting for Coffee to call in and pray so that we can start our program today. So, good morning to you, Coffee, and how are you?
I'm on top of the world. Good morning, CJ.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jester.
Good morning to you, sir.
How are you, bro?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank God I'm all right.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Good. So let us just pray. Father, once again, with thankful heart, we approach your throne of grace. We thank you, God, for watching over us during the course of the night. And we thank you, God, for permitting our life yet to see another day. Father, we thank you for the rising of the sun. And Father, we believe that by faith, the going down will be the same. We thank you, God, for watching over our lives during the course of the night. For this, we are very grateful. Father, this morning I bring forth, oh God, the mental health program before you. A program, oh God, that touched the life of people here, there, and everywhere. I bring the facilitators, both Claire and CJ and Jester, before you, oh God, that you continue to grant them the knowledge, the wisdom, and the understanding as they do their research to educate the people as it relates to mental health. We ask you, God, to watch over them. We ask you, God, to watch over every piece of the equipment that it would not be able to malfunction and that no weapon that form against this program should ever prosper. I bring the listeners before you, O God, not just mere listening, but as they listen, dear God, may they put it into practice, Lord, that they can be able to heal from mental health and they can be able to be so brilliant to hear and to listen, and they themselves can be able to teach others. As we wait and we listen to the program for this morning, we ask your God to bless and keep us in Jesus' name. Amen and amen.
Amen.
So everything is good
So
with
I'm
you.
standing, man, I'm top of the world, man. I just come out in my garden there and pick a little drop of peas, and then I sit there and I'm shelling it. It's good to plant. When you plant, you reap.
Of course.
When
Yeah.
you plant, you reap. So I'm shelling my peas and I'm listening, and definitely I'll make my contribution.
All right. As
Take care of
usual.
yourself.
Take care. Thank
Right.
you
Yeah,
so very much.
just all right.
Wonderful,
Bye bye. Great.
wonderful
Yes.
coffee.
Great. Great.
So
Great.
thank you. So yes, Jester, that was coffee for us, and let me say good morning, and I give you the opportunity again to say good morning to your people wherever they are.
Yeah, well, I always like to start with my bestie, Gordon Bushes Richardson, and I too fall in line. Yeah. Wayne Ted John, Andy Moose Bartholomew. Yeah, the Glean's family out there in Boston. Yeah. Oh, the Hill Street people. I met her.
You met who now?
I met her yesterday,
Oh, you did.
just around by the banking
Oh,
system.
yesterday's Monday. Yeah, she's going to do her
Yeah, yeah,
business. It's every
yeah.
Monday. Yeah.
I saw her around there. She was happy. I wouldn't tell you why she was happy. Maybe you can ask her when you see her.
Okay.
She
Alistair
was
Dubois
happy.
has
She was
checked
a bit
in.
surprised that
Yes.
I will make such a move too. But if she really knows me well, that
Mm-hmm.
is kind of thing I'm
Okay.
capable of.
All right. All right. All right.
To our son cast, we really, really good in
And my girl
relationships.
Caris. We can't
Yeah.
forget my girl Caris at all. At all.
Yeah.
Yes.
Claire, what is interesting, I love to be around cast as a younger person to me, but
Mm-hmm.
whenever we meet up around certain events or functions, and we do have a drink together and we discuss very serious issues,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so, that what makes it so interesting,
Diversity.
sometimes I
Mm-hmm.
wonder why people would go around as males sometimes and look for fight. You know, yeah, it feels so good, a younger person to me, and then the sort of exchanges we have, on issues, man, is just so amazing. You
Yes.
feel so good that you've been around, that you can meet somebody and discuss on
Mm.
ideas and issues, and
Yeah.
really, really, really good.
So you finished saying good morning.
Yes, so far for me. Yeah, I know you cover quite a lot. So
Well, maybe it's
you go ahead, whoever comes to mind
so. Let
after
me
us.
let me say good morning to Marlon Klein. This is one gentleman that whenever I put up good morning there, he's the first that responds, and he says good morning to you, CJ, and to Jester, and to all the viewers and listeners. Have a wonderful and productive day with God, which is blessings. Thank you so much. Let me also say good morning to Alban Harris out there in New York. Jenny Mason, good morning. She has checked in. Lorna Bain has checked in. Alistair Aito Dubois has also checked in. Claude Abraham, good morning. Claude is the first time Claude has stepped in on here. He used to be on Real FM and listening to us. So welcome to Take Five. And subscribe. Please subscribe so that more people can come on. And I know when you're browsing through YouTube, we have made it on YouTube in the sense that when you're browsing through, you can see Take Five with CJ and Jester on there. So let me also say good morning to Faithlyn Hallie Douglas, Bernadette Abraham, Daphne Date and family in Toronto. Olavachi, good morning. I haven't seen you as yet. NP, good morning. Lorna, you're there. Mary in Toronto, take what you call it, Chance the Game 97. Good morning to you. He's going to check in later. Junior between the pop, the 1910 and below the 1910. Good morning to you also. Duchess, good morning. Donna Sandy, Mr. Nicholas Snag, good morning to you. Kenro, good morning. Bandy, good morning. Pat Pear, William Pear, and Michael Pear, which is hubby, good morning to you. Good morning to Net in the track. Antonia Franco, good morning. The Cashew Tree Crew, good morning to you guys. And Bernard and Radio Man, good morning. Good morning to Pat Augustine Belfon. And not forgetting my good friend Chubby. Good morning to you also. Sharon St. John out there in Maryland, good morning. And Wendy, I know you're back in TO enjoying all the snow, the cold, you left heat, and you went back home. And I know you don't have to tell me that you're depressed, but you're back home. Enjoy. I think that's what I have for now. And let me say good morning to
Morning,
Giselle Grant.
morning to Claire Maho.
Plain Mahu, yes, she's
Yeah.
always checking in. Good morning to you guys. Good morning to Miss Louisa, the vegetable stand down there in the bottom of the town. Good morning to you and also to your hubby. I think that's what we have for now. And let me say, I know cats listen at sometimes, so good morning to your cats, wherever you are, if you're on the road or you're working or you're home. Good morning to you. Hope all is well with you.
Yeah.
So,
So
today,
Cleo, oh gosh, before you reach there, man, you know, we
I don't want to
usually have
talk
a
to you
little,
today.
you don't even find out what's up for the weekend.
Today,
What's,
today, I don't want to talk to you today. I don't want you to tell me I ain't hung up properly and all that. I get tired of you telling me I ain't hung up properly. And others. Oh, let me say good morning to Bernard out there in the south of the island. I know you should be listening to Dr. Antoine and his whole crew up there. Good morning to you guys. It was great seeing you, every one of you, yesterday. Mm,
yeah,
yeah.
the woodman.
Yes, the Woodman I asked yesterday, said, so what is the secret? I asked the girl, I said, what's the secret in the Woodman room? Oh, we don't know. I said, how could you all not know and you work here? He's not letting go the secret at all. So,
So, Claire, what's popping, man? How's the weekend? What's,
con that pops, not me.
huh?
Ask me what's jiving, and I'm going to tell you what's jiving. But I ain't popping up or nothing. The weekend, what was that? Oh, the weekend I was in St. George on Sunday. I was in St. George on Saturday. I was a St. George girl on the weekend. I went there Saturday and Sunday. It was good, and I came back and I was such tired as a lock. I couldn't. Somebody's calling, Mouse. You cannot call me. I'm on the air, so call me whenever. But you can't call me now. I won't answer.
No, it's not a good time.
Yeah, now is not a good time. Mousy, now is not a good time to call me. So you got to call me. If you're calling to make a contribution to the program, yes, I'm taking your call. But after that, nah, nah. Call me when you know I'm free after 12 o'clock. Gotcha? Right. So, yes, that was my weekend. And yesterday, what Monday? What Monday? Monday I worked at home. I have a job there. I'm working at home,
Yeah.
and I worked at home on Monday, and yesterday, and then I went to Abe and back, and today we're doing a mental health program. But let me tell you, I have to make a visit to Fortune. I am I am tighter than a string band right now. And if you pull me up, like so, my shoulders are tense. My my trigger points are. I'm tighter than security as I sit here.
Yeah.
Yes. Let me just take a quick thing. I think someone is out there first. So let me just take a quick break and we shall be right back. So here we go.
Welcome to Take 5, your mental health program with CJ and Jester. With CJ and Jester.
Yeah, man. So,
Saturday, February 8th, 2025. Grenada, get ready as Idol City Sports presents its fifth annual football lights, the annual night football competition. Rosen Plainfield, St. Patrick. One of the much dogs, anybody know you're the guest for us. $20,000 for grab. And the first place winner of the senior team will receive $4,000. Under 17, 1,500. Second place, 3,000. Under 17, 1,000. Plus, you can win individual prizes. Football on the lights, which runs from Saturday, February 8th until today, May 3rd. And all teams will be coming up against the Roselle football team, the defending champion. Registration fee for senior teams, $400. And under 17, you enter free. All teams will be able to register 20 players, and all players' uniform must be numbered. No unauthorized vending. To register, contact 538-7509 or 206-9580. One game will be played on weekdays and two games on the weekends. Game kicks off from 7 p.m. It's Saturday, February 8th and on the 3rd of May, 2025. Idol Cities football on the light. Rosen Plainfield in St. Patrick.
Welcome to Take 5, your mental health program. To Take 5, your mental health program with CJ and Jester. With CJ and Jester.
mind, we are back, and sorry, I had to just take a little break so that we can figure out what's going on. So let me say good morning to 94.9 We Noise FM in New York City, Spice from Good Morning, and also to 107.5 Whips Grenada, Mr. Terry Williams out there. I think he's after the pop. He's before the pop. He's after the pop. Before the pop when you're coming from
I can't explain that to you. Yes.
He's before the pop when you go into St. George, and when you're coming from St. George's, he's after the pop. I know what I'm talking about. Good morning to you, sir. He brings us on every Tuesday morning. And let me also say good morning to our fine guest here, which is Mr. Jelani Glynn. Why are you late?
I knew this question was coming.
You know you're not escaping that.
This question was coming. And whereas I know you reside at Plains, which part of Plains I somehow was misdirected. And this morning,
Uh-huh.
everybody who resides at Plains decided to either stay inside their homes or have left already. So there was no one for me to ask where is the house?
Oh, you find the tent?
Yes.
The tent. Don't tell people it's a house. I live in a tent. So, well, welcome and thank you for joining us this morning. It's a really, really quiet place, around here. So most of us are inside our houses or in the tents. You don't see people, and those that goes to work, they left early and they passed the other way. So you would not find anybody. Just to happen to know where I live because I accidentally take him here and I can't get rid of him.
I'm just thought, excuse me.
And I can't get rid of him, and that's the next time my dog bites him and all that. But but if dog happen to know him and like him, that's the next thing.
Dog know me better than he. He don't. You.
Oh no, my dog is my good friend. Don't worry about that. So yes, so thank you so much for checking in, Germany.
Okay.
And but let me say good morning to PJ. Is she at work today, Spice, or is she at home? PJ, we call her Mama. He knows what I'm talking about. She lives in Toronto and she works for the Mississauga Transit. So she drives a big blue bus something. And I love to see small women drive big vehicles. Like we hear us, we roll. And everybody just have to watch us and weep when they see us pass. She drives a big blue MTA bus to go to Mississauga. She flies in Mississauga Ruth.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and there are a lot of women are driving heavy machinery these days. Somebody said to me, you should buy a pickup truck. I said, Jelani has one. Maybe I'll ask him to drive it one of these days.
That is big enough for you, man.
Well, you want me to drive a tractor trailer or something?
Nothing is beyond.
What?
One of those trailer trucks to pull something off the porch.
You know, it's amazing that anything somebody tell you, you just stick for it. I just can't understand that. I will not even mention that.
What about the truck?
Oh, please.
Because you're jealous. You can't drive a truck. I could. I drove trucks before and I just didn't know. So she's at work and she won't hear me. But please tell her I say hola for me when you're and remember the number today is still 404-1189, and that goes for Spice Rum especially because he said I give him wrong number. I give him 416 personal and 4116. So the number for everyone to call is 1473 404-1189 if you're calling from North America. If you're calling within the Caribbean, it's still 47, but if you're calling in here, it's 404-1189. So you were talking about your weekend before Jelani comes in. What did you do on the weekend?
On the weekend, you know, I'm a
If it's football, I don't want to hear.
sports inclined person, so you know what I'm saying. I'm taking a little bit of the cricket that is happening in River Valley at the moment. It is on a weekend. So a number of teams across St. Patrick's, they do play on the weekend at the River Valley. 2 games Saturday, 2 games Sunday. One play in the morning, the other plays in the afternoon, yeah.
Oh.
And then football at Rosehill under the lights, you know, throughout the whole weekend. You know. And clear, it has now been confirmed that the branch sports, which
Poetry?
is for all the primary school of St. Patrick, will now be at La Poterie.
Yeah, I heard.
And McDonald College the following day would be at Progress Park.
I thought McDonald College was going to poetry also. So I got wrong information on that last night?
No, going to Progress.
Oh, okay, so Progress Park. And what did you do on the weekend, sir? We weekending right now. We like the weekend. We have to start singing.
Jester and I have a lot in common.
Oh, your football, the sports people.
Yes, so I had an amazing weekend. all my teams that I support
Won?
victorious on the weekend.
Hmm.
Basketball, football, international. It was great. It was
Who you support as an international team?
Brazil.
For Brazil. Okay.
Yeah. But Liverpool did well. That's my
The second one?
club, and
Mm.
Barcelona, which is my number one club.
Okay.
Barcelona also did well on the weekend. We challenging for titles this season.
Mm.
LA Lakers won.
Basketball?
Yes.
The Lakers in something still?
We beat the Nuggets. Yeah. Yeah.
You play?
Yes.
When they pay, give them the paycheck, you get anything?
Lakers is a nation. It's not just a team.
Oh, it's a nation.
Yes.
It's what they call it, the Black Mamba.
That's right.
See, I know. I think I
Then he's getting a statue.
to him.
Yes.
Why do they do that when you die?
Listen, this is not just any statue he's getting. He already has a statue at Staples Center. He has two numbers retired. President Trump has decided to put a statue of him in the Memorial Garden.
Yeah.
So
Okay, while we're on that, this coming Saturday they will be honoring Mrs. Shirley Robinson.
Yeah, at the Trade Center in St. George.
She made a stunning contribution from over the decades,
But here's my beef on that, eh? Here's my beef on that. She's from St. Patrick. We're the cultural capital of Grenada. You think they couldn't find a destination or a facility in St. Patrick to hold that event instead of taking all of us to St. George?
You might have a point.
I might.
Oh, yeah, okay, let me say you have a point.
Yes,
I don't know what they would have taken into consideration as to why they wanted to have it down there. Maybe if we know, then we probably could, make some more justified comments.
I just made that one comment. I'm not justifying it, but it's just that I think St. Patrick's is a place that you should find somewhere. We have Belmont Estate. We have what do you call it? What do you call that? Do you know by the Long Bridge? The long wall. There's a big place there.
It's River Antoine.
Right, River Antoine.
But you think Belmont Estate will able? It's a show they have in. You think Belmont Estate will able to host what they will look to portray?
A show they haven't. They didn't say it was a show. They said they're honoring Miss Robinson for her talent. I didn't know it was a show, but
Yeah, they have it.
still, we have places.
Just to remember them. So I'm sure you and Claire remember the shows at McDonald's.
Yes, yeah,
Yes.
of course. Well,
And that's where it was.
Say it again. Oh, I'm a jealous one. Why you gone for so long?
Yeah. Tell me.
That you are going in bed and you come back smelling around.
yeah.
I didn't go nowhere.
Yeah.
I didn't go to stay. So that you can pipe up. You don't know the words, Jester?
No.
Just like
Oh, damn.
and lastly though, the one thing I know all of us have in common here again, our U20 club for Eagle Super Strikers, they played on the weekend again against Hard Rock and were victorious again.
Go Eagles.
They are
Yes.
in the tournament thus far. I just want to give guys a shout out. A great job keep going, North Stars got promoted from the first division into Premier League. That again, kudos to them. They moved hard, they won it.
Let me tell you something about Eagle Super Strikers. I still holding a beef against the policemen in the match pass when we took part. And Jester?
I have no doubt if you can remember that song you're singing there. I have no doubt you could hold on to it.
Yeah. I'll agree with you.
A big beef, I
Yeah.
tell you. And that's when the policeman is on parade, I go for the cadet corps because I was a member of the cadet corps, not back in anything when the police is concerned because they robbed us.
Yeah, because back then we used to put
Oh my God. We had a police training us
Yeah.
to begin with. We had Steve and Andy and whoever, Sticks and everyone. We were well trained as super Eagle Super Strikers because we had policemen and there was a lot of people from the cadet corps in the Eagles group. So when we busted on Queen's Park at the time, they watched us and they just say, you know what, they're good, but we're giving the police because it's the police. And I'm still not holding a beef, let me tell you.
I believe you are the first woman that was associated with football in such a way. Remember that, Reg?
My red shorts, the famous red
Out
shorts.
of front. The picture is there.
Yeah, we
The
have.
picture is out there.
Yeah, with the famous red shorts. And you see, I could have matched too because I was so I was leading the band as the only woman in the team at the time, and they robbed us. They gave us a little trophy, so I ain't forgetting that at all. Good morning, Miss Ferguson. How are you? And Williams checked in William Broadcast checks. So today, we're going to be talking about culture and mental illness. And I always say that mental illness is not mental health, but mental health can lead into mental illness. So we're going to we're gonna hit it. And I didn't feel that I could take it on by myself with Jester alone this morning, so I bring in a Top Gun.
Well, and that's good too, Claire, because let me let the listeners know that my stay here will be cut short by about half an hour. I have to leave for other duties and responsibility at St. George's today. The National Sports Council has a workshop which I need to attend.
And let me tell you something.
Center.
Let me say this to you. You see this program on a Tuesday, any meeting you have after, just say, put it off,
Sure.
because this is this is it. Otherwise, I fine you, and I take it to Lenny, and I get in Aito to come back and
Get who you want. That's your business.
I get everybody, but Aito says he still have those pictures. Everybody has the pictures of Eagle Super Strikers when we were in this. We should bring them back. We should have old
We have
timers.
evidence.
Yeah, we have it. Nobody can take that away from us. That's it. So, culture and mental illness. And what do you think culture plays? What part do you think culture plays in mental illness for us?
Claire, I think we need to dissect through the word culture first. And
Well, you dissect. That means you do
What is
research. Go for it.
culture?
Mm,
Culture is a way of life. Culture is what you've been accustomed to, a norm.
hmm
Yeah. Basically, not no big set of meaning behind it, no rocket science thing. Basically, that's what it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
culture. So you dissected it. Okay.
Yeah.
So mental illness occurs throughout all cultures and societies, although very often the stage, severity, and nature of presenting symptoms can vary tremendously. The help seeking patterns also differ according to a number of factors. When, where, and how help is sought is heavily influenced by a number of socio-economic and cultural factors. There is no doubt that social determinants affect the state of health, but of equal importance is how cultural determinants influence mental health. Cultures may influence and contribute to the causation of mental illness. More symptoms render certain subgroups more vulnerable, as well as modify beliefs and explanations of illness. This demonstrates that cultural beliefs and values represent a crucial factor in mental illness. So, we're talking about culture, and you said it's one's way of life.
Yeah.
Now, there is a thing when people talk about culture, they say that's my culture and that's their culture. My question is it does it do? Do we as Black people have a culture? Have culture? I want you all to be very honest in your explanation and your answer. Do we have a culture?
Absolutely.
I believe we have a culture.
What's our culture?
Well, we have various cultures. So,
I'm asking
for,
what culture does Black people have? We
so
as
for example, festival like Saraka,
Mhm.
that's our culture.
Okay.
Okay. So I would differentiate. I think the question is bad because you're asking what culture does Black people have, which is the assumption that all Black people share the same culture. We don't.
Okay.
So Black people in Africa have their culture.
Mhm.
Black people in Europe or in North America have their culture.
Mm-hmm.
We as Black people in the Caribbean have our culture. Also in the South America and so on, Black people they have their own culture because there are unique circumstances that impacts on your culture. For example, we may be all be Black, but the language we speak is different. We may all be Black, but the topography of the areas in which we live will be different. Some Black people live by the sea, so they're fishermen and fisher folk, and they can do agriculture in those kind of areas. Some Black people live in the mountainous areas, and therefore they and so on and so forth. So you can see there are a lot of factors that impact a culture that is outside of race.
In its own unique way.
Okay.
And then that would impact on the type of food you eat, the type of religion you practice, and on, which all together makes a culture.
Okay. I beg to differ.
Well, that's your right.
Yeah. I'm saying I beg to differ. I'll explain later on when I get down there. So, cultural psychiatry is in the past has been variously described as ethno-psychiatry, cross-culture psychiatry, migrant psychiatry. Psychiatry is a new discipline that brings together professionals from various fields to understand the impact of migration on mental illness and the mental health and well-being of migrant individuals. Transcultural psychiatry pathological psychiatry, and comparative psychiatry. But for a variety of reasons, these terms have fallen into disuse. Cultural psychiatry is currently being used to describe the impact culture can have on the well-being and functioning of individuals, the way they express distress, explain it, and seek help according to what they see as causing their problems. A multidisciplinary approach to reaching diagnosis with an attempt to understand vulnerability factors precipitating, perpetuating, and therapeutic engagement factors which are strongly influenced by culture. In many countries, the use of the term culture and its application is still often perceived as being solely relevant to Black and minority ethnic groups and individuals, which fails to recognize that every individual is influenced by the culture, both in the broader sense, but also various aspects of microcultures. Culture has been defined in different ways, from the cultivation of crops to sharing meaningful meanings and knowledge. So I said, I don't believe that we have a culture.
Well, I would disagree still, simply because I'll give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
Very easy one. Music.
Mm-hmm.
North America, black music. I'm not going too far back into jazz. I'm
Mm-hmm.
giving you the more popular culture.
Mm-hmm.
Rap,
Mm-hmm.
for example, that's a North American thing that
Mhm.
started there, it grew there. Africa
Mm-hmm.
has the African music.
Mm-hmm. The zouk and
Yeah,
right?
right.
Okay, yeah.
The Caribbean
Mm-hmm. We have calypso and soca
and reggae music.
and reggae. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Now here's a beautiful part. The Latinos
Mm-hmm.
have put all of that together
And they give
and
us.
they create reggaeton.
Mm-hmm.
Now reggaeton is not North American, it's not Caribbean, it's not African.
It's Latinos.
It's Latino.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So individual black cultures, even in one space, have the differences. And then there is the cross culture impact where we merge them together with youthful generations and the wider world coming together, making a small global village. Now we have that cross culture coming together to create new additions to the culture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me explain why I say that I don't believe we have a culture. When you look at the Africans, they dress in the African garbs, but the moment you see them, you know that they are Africans,
Mhm.
right? You look at the Orientals, they have the outfit, the special outfit, the kimonos, and all that. You look at the Indians, they're in the saris and all. What do we in the Caribbean have to show our culture?
All of them.
All?
All of them. And I'll explain why.
Tell me.
The culture of the Caribbean is
Mm-hmm.
not one of origin, but it's
Oh.
one of us being a melting pot of many cultures because we did not originate from the Caribbean. But when we came together in the Caribbean, we merged those cultures together,
Mm-hmm.
you'll find the differences between the original culture and what we've put together. That pilau,
The melange.
that melange that we created within the Caribbean has its own unique flavor, its own uniqueness about it that makes us, without any doubt, Caribbean, even down to the English language that we speak.
You see, let me relate a story to you. About 2 years when 2 years into my stay in Canada, in Toronto, there's a street we call Mary, Lorna, all of Jenny, everybody will know what I'm talking about. I used to live on Oakwood and St. Clair, and there's a street down that the Italians, like they call it Little Italy, and that's where I used to go to my doctor. So I wasn't staying very far away from there. There was two ice creams for Dutch Dreams that comes from the Netherlands, where we want to go to do the mental health program, Amsterdam, and then there was the Italian gelato or Italian ice down the street. Right. So I decide, it's Sunday. I ain't have nothing to do. I taking a walk. I didn't want Dutch. I'm not an ice cream lover, but Dutch Dream normally have this kind of cones that you can put fruits and so on it. So I said, this time I'm going down to Little Italy to get a gelato or Italian ice. So I'm walking down the street, minding my beeswax as usual. There's a guy that was on the other street when I get to the junction at Vaughan and Oakwood. And he says, hey, he called me here. And I said, he can't be calling me because he's for horses. I'm not answering that. So he said, hi. I look and I said, He said, yes. He says, can I talk to you? I said, but you're talking. So he says, I need to talk to you. So I says, you still talking? So he come over on the other side now. And he's like, where are you going? I said, that's my business. I want to go with you. I said, I didn't invite you. Then he asked me, what's your name? I said, I'm not telling you that. Because I don't know who he is, I said, I'm not telling you that. Then he started getting a little arrogant and he's like, so you have a phone? I said, yeah. Can I have your number? I said, no. Why? I said, I wouldn't call you. He says, well, would you take mine? I said, no. Why? I said, I don't want you to call me. Then he's like, he got really upset with me now. He's like, well, I tried to get to know you. I said, well, you don't have to worry about it. I'm good. Then he's like, in the country I'm from, I'm a prince. I said, so what are you doing here then? I said, where's your crown? Because I am a prince. And I could get 12 women if I want to. I said, well, make your dozen 11 because this one is not available. He tell me, oh, I don't care about you anyway. You're a sold away slave. And let me tell you, that affected me mentally that I could relate that story up to today, that I am a sold away slave. So like, I'm a sold away slave. I said, well, good for you that you sold me. And when people say to you that, oh, the white people come and they buy us into slavery. We sold us into slavery.
Yeah.
Like we weren't on the market. Okay, we weren't on the market. They came and they wanted to buy us and they sold us. So don't come and tell me that I am a sold away slave. Because it was your ancestors that sold my people into, and that's why when people calling me African American and African Canadian, nah, don't do that to me. Where are you from? The Caribbean. And I done. I'm not from the West Indies because I'm no Indian. Tug people.
Mm-hmm.
I am from the Caribbean. And where is that? Way down south your head, no. You tell them Grenada? Oh, Grenada? No. Grenada, not to say. So I mentally, that affected me. And when he tell me about, so I don't want nothing to do with when people telling me about culture, this and that, because my culture don't accept who I am as part of them. That's the reason why I tell you, we have no culture as black people, especially those of us that live in the Caribbean. And who want to embrace it, more power to them. But you see me sitting here, no thank you.
Well, Claire,
I said, me,
you
I'm
feel the
not
way.
telling anybody
Yeah,
else.
well,
Me.
hear me out. You feel the way you feel and fine. That's how you look at it. But it doesn't change the fact that when
That you sold
you
away.
do the truth back, you're right from
But you sold away. You're a sold away
can't change
slave.
that. You say it in such a way as if that can be changed. It cannot.
So
That's
Claire,
just the harsh reality.
let me ask you this. If what he said is a fact,
This yeah, I'm a sold away slave.
not you personally, but
You are my
ancestors,
people.
right?
Yes.
That's a fact. Um, but does it speak worse of us as being the descendants of those who were sold away? Or does it speak worse of our ancestors who sold our people away?
You
And does it speak bad also of those who bought persons
it bad all around.
There we go.
All around.
So for me, I don't look at that. I had the pleasure of meeting two persons who I became very close friends with. There were two princes from Nigeria.
You sure they were prince?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. There were two princes from Nigeria. Um, and they actually came to the St. George's University here. And we became very good friends and so forth. And I met other Africans from while I was there, people from Mozambique, South Africa, and so on and so forth. And you can see sometimes some of that resentment, that kind of attitude from some of them, and others are impressed with. They actually are amazed that our society here as a Caribbean society, the soul slave society, has grown and can put out something like SGU that can offer top international education. Oh, by the way, congratulations to them on becoming accredited for the next 5 years at least.
We have them here.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
That's awesome. So I've had that pleasure, and some persons are open-minded and want more of us. So I'll give you another example. Bob Marley is, may his soul rest in peace, is still celebrated in Africa and by Africans as pioneer of black music and pushing love and unity across the world. Right? They don't see him as the descendant of the slave, which he is.
He has white in him.
Well, and the slave owner too. Right?
Mhm.
They don't see him that way. So sometimes when we let our actions and our work speak for itself, we don't need to speak for ourselves.
Mentally scarred. I'm saying mentally scarred because I'm a soul. And you know, you see, the man I tell me, oh, who care about your soul always sleep? And I'm like, I just want to just knock him out, but I just walked away because yes, yeah, I might be a solo worker, but you sold me. I didn't sell myself. I didn't ask to be on sale, or my four parents or whoever it is. So that's why it says because in the we are like you said, we are in a melting pot of culture. Let's put it that way, because we have the blacks, we have the whites, we have the Indians, we have everything in the Caribbean. It's a melange, but then we're still not together in a form that could make us to say that we are Africans or we are this or we are that because
We are Caribbean.
we are too scattered.
We are Caribbean.
Who
We are
don't
not
swim in
African.
Caribbean?
We are Caribbean.
That's true. And you know where the Caribbean come from? Because we are Caribs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That too.
that's the Carib. The Carib. I'll take that. Oh, I'm a descendant of the Caribs.
So before you celebrate that,
Hmm.
the only people who call the Caribs Caribs were not the Caribs. Caribs never went by the name Caribs.
What they were going by the indigenous
There
people
were
of the land?
Taínos. There were Taínos. You have Taínos and you have Kalinagos and you have those before them and all of that. And our history will tell us that. So a lot of the names we still use is names that have been imparted on us and our ancestors pick it up and pass it on culturally again.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm saying, but we have to look for the uniqueness in us, and that's I think is what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to see just the pure African thing like the Saraka. You don't want to see the Indian thing like what happens during Diwali.
Like Eid and Diwali and right.
You're looking for what is the Caribbean thing.
Yes, what is ours?
Right. So what is ours is, for example, the music. Could start with that.
Right.
What is ours is the food. Nowhere else in the world you go, you would get somebody making oil on fish.
Right.
Right. So we have those things. But even the words and the expressions that we use, we've created our own. We've added to it. There are words that you would find only in Grenada. There are words you'd find only in Jamaica.
We bonje?
Exactly.
Oh.
Simple thing as a papillon.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes. Yes.
What that means. But someone to someone else that's outside of our culture that has its own uniqueness. Even the way we speak. It took me a long while to understand that we as Grenadians we don't really have an accent. But
we have a dialect.
Right. And if you want to pick out a Grenadian, you just have to listen to the pace at which he speaks.
Speed
Right?
and accuracy.
It's a lot of speed. Right? You want speed? That's speed. Right? So
yes.
when you look at the Jamaicans, the Trinidadians, the Guyanese, Bajans, you can pick out their accent
The accent.
very
Yes.
easily.
Yes.
But guess what? That's why when we travel, Grenadians pick up and assume other accents very easily, as opposed to them who have the stick language that they can't drop.
True.
So that's the uniqueness of
So that's the uniqueness about us Grenadians.
We're adaptable.
Yeah, okay. Not the whole Caribbean,
No,
just Grenada.
Just Grenadians.
Right. So yeah, we are special people, and that's why nobody am telling me I'm coming out from the West Indies. Heck no.
No.
I am from the Caribbean, and if you cannot accept that, then fine. That's it. I am a Caribbean girl. You see, all my kind of thing is like the Caribbean, this and the whatever, the Caribbean. That's who I am. So we moving on. We are unique in our own way in Spice Country. People put that in your old pipe and smoke it. Yeah. So here is the next one. It says cultures consist of learned behaviors and patterns which influence lifestyles backed by knowledge, customs, belief, and values, which go on to shape human behaviors, which are influenced in turn. Cultures fluidly shape human behaviors and are as likely changed by such behaviors by coming to direct or indirect contact with other cultures. Cultures impact our lives in a number of subtle and not so subtle ways, which is what we are just speaking about. So it's saying that we have learned the behaviors and patterns of different cultures.
Absolutely.
So when we as Grenadians hang out with Jamaicans, we start saying the Bombo word and the Ras word and drop it. It's not ours.
Pay attention. They pick up words that we use as well. As a matter of fact, it may not be the best example to use, but an easy way with common words that we use is how we curse across the Caribbean. The manner in which we curse, the way we say the word, the way we express it is also unique across the Caribbean.
But it does make me cringe when the words are flying. I'm like, oh my gosh, it actually make you cringe when you hear it. Jelani, you see where my tent is.
Yeah.
And the football is right behind my tent.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I wonder if there's an echo with the words. it starts down there. A boy miss a ball, and what is so? And he coming up, and I'm like, where is the police? And the words I stay inside the net, and it make me cringe, and I'm like, does everybody in the Caribbean cuss the way we Grenadians cuss, or what has this deep vibrating thing that when you hear it, it's like if you did not understand before, when you get the word, you understand what they mean when they tell you.
Yeah. If I want to identify somebody from Chantimel easily, for example, look at right here, blindfold, like you're here, they're playing field over there. They just have to say the word boy.
Boy.
They say boy.
Yes,
Right?
that's true.
That's a Chantimel thing.
And that's the difference. Every parish in St. Patrick's, or every parish in Grenada, and every community has a different accent. You can tell somebody that comes from Mamatan, as well as you can tell somebody that comes from Chantimel or Roselle or Montreat. What River Sally people say, Jester? Or where?
Or St. George's.
Or the tongue, or Grenada. Yes, you can.
But one thing I know about culture, in many instances, it doesn't stay within a confinement.
No, it
You
doesn't.
understand? People adopt cultures for various reasons, and it might just work for them. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you check, for example, and we could use the musical industry, reggae is originated from Jamaica, but look at Lucky Dube. He was from
Africa,
South
and he sings
Africa.
beautiful.
And
He used to sing beautiful
exactly, so
music.
that's
Yes.
what I'm saying.
Fontaine, Dominica.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's why it says we all carry cultural capitals wherever we are. The way we dress, speak, eat, and think and develop is influenced by cultural factors. These are integrated and shape our worldviews. There is little doubt that culture also affects the way we experience distress, the way in which we express distress, and also where we seek help from them. So, the way we eat, the way we speak, the way we dress, and everything, people can pinpoint, and that's the point I'm coming back to at the end of it all. You can tell an Asian person, an Indian person, an African person when we see the way they dress. Sometimes they eat the skumawiki and the ugali, you know they're from Africa. The white cuckoo with the red sauce. You see the Indians, they have the biryani chicken and whatever. The roti, the chapati,
Yeah.
you know they are from there. You see the Oriental people, they have the sweet and sour chicken, the steamed rice, the fried rice. So our
So when we do hello,
the oildong is only Grenadian. Only Grenadian. That's where oildong is originated from. Here.
and other
But
Caribbean islands are fighting to adopt it.
fighting, but it does not belong to them.
Well, that's what I'm
So,
saying.
so what
So we have a
So what about a good coconut borups? Where that come from?
Guyana, the pepper pot.
No, ma'am, it's very different from pepper pot.
Where does it come from?
Here it's a local thing. It's
Okay.
from Farvati, I could tell you that.
Yeah.
Yes, when you're hungry, throw some fig and coconut and so and saltfish, just throw that together, and that's food.
Yes.
Right, but what I'm saying, what I'm really telling you is that the culture that we have here, the Grenadian culture, we can bet our bottom dollar bar none that the oil belongs to just us.
Mm-hmm.
Other people are trying to piggyback on it and they make a royal mess of it because they make steam dung and they call it oil dung. They make coconut warps, as you say, and they call it oil dung. It is originated with us in Grenada. So this is synonymous with Grenada, the oil dung, the warps, and the way we speak, the uniqueness of our speech. That is synonymous to us.
The different bushes we drink as tea.
Right. We used to call it black stage, but we know it's not a stage, it's a sage.
Yes. I couldn't friend out like calling it black stage. This is not one. You want me to change now?
The black stage is where Black Adan is going to perform, the black stage.
Yeah.
But what we have is black sage. So you see, this is all synonymous to us again. But what I'm saying is that the culture, as it says, we walk with it. We are cultural capital. We walk with it wherever we go. So even though I go to Toronto and there is breakfast, obviously the Grenadian is coming out in me and making my all down there.
Yeah.
As well as an American will do the same thing. A Grenadian that goes to America or wherever Grenadian go, and there is breadfruit. Surely all down is coming out, and this is the culture. That's what we have, but we're still missing the big picture of our culture, and it's the music. So if music is what we own, Let's play our music. Because as far as I can tell, when there's an event, we have to fight to get our music to be played in any stadium or any event. So tell me a lie.
Soca music is still not recognized as a genre international. It's not. That's why there's not a Grammy award for soca music, but there's one for reggae now. But to me, Claire, I see where you're coming from. But to me, that's from a position of how do we want to sell our culture? How we want the rest of the world to see
Right.
us and our culture and value it in that way. But in terms of the topic we're discussing here this morning, what is my concern is how does, as you say, when the culture evolves, how does that create stress and drama and affect psychologically?
And it is.
When we migrate from our culture into other cultures, how is that impact? How does that impact on us? Right? And you and I and Jester, we've had that experience personally. I can remember the first time traveling, and I went to a hotel, and the security guards there were armed more than the police we had here at that point in time. And I'm like, well, what am I doing in a place like that? I'm not used to this. I want to go back home because I don't want to be exposed, and before I have to look over my shoulders every minute and so on. That so psychologically, that is affecting me. It's adding stress and pressure
Mental
on
scar.
the mental health, right? So I think for a lot of people, think of even if we're within our comfort space here, think how someone of Asian Orient, background or deep African background or Hindu background, and so forth, coming into our space, how do they feel? I could give you another testimony. When we had so at SGU, I did orientation with the new students and so on. But the semester starts August, where we have new persons coming. So some persons come in early, and because they hear of the carnival, it's a big celebration and so on and so forth. What I can guarantee you is coming from North America and Europe and even Africa. What you're not prepared for is to see 10,000 jab jab in the streets with this oil and these horns, and it's a culture shock for them.
Yeah.
Many of them scream they want to go back home immediately. It is out of this world for them. This is fun for us. No, my mom used to always have a saying that joke for school children is dead for couple.
Yes.
Right? And what may be a celebrated part of our culture is literally a culture shock to someone else from a different type of culture. And that within itself can create that psychological scar and so forth. As a young person, as someone from a different culture and so forth. So for us, even here within Grenada and the Caribbean, when we leave here and we travel outside, a simple thing, getting to work on time, getting to work when rain, those types of things that we consider here. Boss, for yes, we to come and see much rain falling this morning, slide coming down and so forth.
Yes.
New York have how much inches, Canada has how much inches of snow.
We have to go to work and you have to be on time.
And on time, or else when you get there, someone else is doing the job.
And let me tell you, this is something, and you could ask him or fight with him all the time. This is something that is mentally ingrained in me now. Time, getting to work on time, because you know to yourself, 3 days you reach later and it's like, bye-bye.
Yeah.
Like you say, somebody else is in there. And that's why sometimes I say, with the mental, the cultural habit that we have here of telling me, it's Grenada time already, or it's Caribbean time, that irks me more than anything else you would think about. Because we have no time. It is GMT, we follow it to a T. So when you're coming somewhere late, I think it's disrespectful to the people that are waiting there for you as it is already. And you think that, your time is my time is your time and your time is no. Get to where you're going on time, because show respect to the person that invites you somewhere, or you have to come.
All right. Well, we have some culture that is negative, so that is one and that is negative.
You the first person who jump up because you always
That is just a light moment. But let's go back to, and we have to be careful about certain cultures, what exists in the Caribbean. So, for example, I'm speaking here specifically of the still band, and I remember I was looking at a documentary from Dennis Williams, the merchant. He has gone to the great beyond, and he got the inspiration to do Pan in Danger. And how do you think it came about? He saw Pan house, they are just throw it down, just knock it down, and Pan left. So he said, boy, Pan in Danger. And that's how he got the inspiration to do Pan in Danger, which was a real hit. So I'm saying no, certain cultures of ours in the Caribbean, if we don't take
pride in it,
full charge of it at all times, we may tend to lose the fame of it. Because watch, Pan is now being played in Japan. I mean, I was looking at something when I heard this guy. The artist he can't come to mind now, but they were playing his pan in his song,
In Japan?
One?
Little Von
Yeah.
song in Japan. Pan is being spread now to Germany,
Big up everyone.
to Australia. So,
So you see,
You
if
see
we
what
don't
I'm
use
saying?
it, we lose it. And then
Exactly.
we find ourselves, and you know what we do? We deviate from the pan, and we go into the DJ thing and think that is when DJ is a dime a dozen. As you guys say, you could get 12 princess in Africa. You could get DJ a dime a dozen to play for you anywhere. But when you have those artistic and this artistic thing that is born from us, how do you just give up that and let somebody else capture it, and then you go in and run after them and say, oh, that was ours, and you take it, you gave it up.
Well,
Exactly. We have to be careful. We ought to be very careful.
yeah, I think one of the things we have to be very careful, as Jester is pointing to, is there is nothing wrong with, and a matter of fact, culture is supposed to grow and evolve.
Yes.
Right? Because we say with new knowledge, with new experiences, we evolve, we grow. And culture is based on knowledge, right? Um, but sometimes we recognize that the knowledge that we thought we had was not accurate knowledge, right? So it's one. So as the knowledge improves, the technology improves, the culture is impacted. What sometimes we have to be careful with is not selling out what we have and what we know and what has worked for us. Um, whilst growing and adding new dimensions to our culture, leaving out those parts and getting into only that. I'll give you an example. I got a statement made from a very high official at the Ministry of Culture in terms of the new arrangement for what used to be the Independence Calypso competition. And it's not just an independence monarch. So that means you could do groovy, you could do calypso, soca, whatever it is. And one of his justifications was, well, calypso is very boring. And that struck me in the chest like a lightning bolt, because here is a person that is supposed to be responsible for
For
marketing
culture.
and protecting our culture, selling it out with the common perception of what it is. We look at
And
somebody
he said Calypso is very boring.
boring, yeah. So you look at
Like,
somebody like,
seriously?
so nobody would want to come to
To
maybe
the
he hasn't
Mardi Gras
been
or
to
whatever.
those
Right.
shows. So, but I said to him, I said in my mind, I'm saying, okay, have we looked at Marshall Montano and why his career is going to keep going until he dies? Um, last year we took some time off to study and so forth. He came back in competition last year. He didn't come back with soca. He didn't come back with
Groovy.
groovy. He came back with a calypso, a hit,
Soul of Calypso.
Soul of
That's
Calypso,
the
a
name
hit
of it.
across the region that any one of us could connect to, right? This year, he's back into the soca and he has his groovies and he has his whatever. So he's always relevant, he's always current.
And I think he will be defending
Exactly.
the
The
Calypso.
Calypso Muna,
Yeah.
right? So he's not selling out to move forward. He embraces the new, but he still inculcates and protects the old.
You see where culture escapes us? And that's why I say we don't have a culture. Because we don't have anything that we can hang on to that is tangible, that we think, that we feel that we need to hold on to. It's like you have a shoes and you see another one, you just pitch the old one in the corner there and you buy the new one and you're wearing that new one constantly and you forget about the one that was taking you from A to B all the time. If we don't learn to hold on to what we have, what is important to us, we end up with nothing. And that's why I say I don't believe we have a culture, because we tend to just let everything just slide by. Somebody else picks it up and then we quarrel about nobody is paying attention to us and nobody is and look this person because we gave it up. We didn't think that it was important enough to hold on to it.
But Jay, going back to what you made mention of this Independence Monarch this year, and I never get a chance to speak on it publicly, and you know me, I give my honest opinion. I believe that was just absolutely just BS, and I'll tell you why. And I believe they did score us a great injustice, because you know what? It all boils back down to they judge the competition from the Calypso criteria.
Yes.
So what? What are you saying? It makes absolutely no sense.
And then again, here we are selling out what is our culture to what is now popular for the entertainment value, as opposed to investing to ensure that certain aspects of our culture is protected, and that's supposed to be the rule, right? You look at a lot of, and that can be applied in different areas. And like you're saying, this taking this popularist view and what are the fads now as compared to what is important. It is important that children know learn to use the MPC and learn to make music online using software and all that. All of that is important. You know what is not more important than learning to play the actual instrument
Exactly.
and being able to read music and so those things. See, those are still part of the culture, and that's where you get the genuine creativity from, right? So for me, it is important that we protect those things, protecting children in our preschools and primary school at an early age, learning to play those traditional games in the little house because it's not a danger to them and it's fun. Still learning and playing those games. You don't see those things anymore, right? You look at a lot of the things that we need to protect that is ours, the pan music, the some of the traditional games, some of the foods, like for me, for example, me personally, this is a personal thing. I think it is more important for us at independence to have a national food day more
Only
than the National
Grenadian?
Colors Day.
Only.
Why? Because everybody that is in Grenada at that point in time doesn't only get to see the colors that we have as Grenada, but they get to experience the
The
Grenada
food.
way of life. So for
Mhm.
breakfast, we having cocoa tea and bakes
Saltfish
and
and bakes.
titiri and saltfish
Mhm.
and smoke herring and
Mm.
whatever it is we do for breakfast and bush tea, whatever it is. That's why you get, even in the restaurants,
Mhm.
that is what you get in
National Food Day. That's a good point.
for lunch, you're getting oilong, you're getting warrups, you're getting rice and peas and what? You're getting what we eat as Grenadians for lunch, and for dinner it's the same thing.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. And then we know the oil dung is already kicked in. So we don't have to worry about the oil dung again because that is a given.
Yes.
So all the other things and this is it. Our breakfast these days consists of hot dogs, bacon, fried chicken, and all this kind of thing. We can't pass the thing about you know when you're growing up and you say we poor and you come from school.
Pancake.
Right.
Pancake.
Waffles.
Yeah.
All this, it has become that.
Yeah.
And the danger of it is that you and I know, Jelani, and you all, we travel, and we know the danger of eating these things every day because of what is processed
Processed
to it.
foods.
They're
Yeah.
all processed food. And we wonder why children are becoming obese, and we wonder why parents have this big stomach and this big backside going on, you don't know what's going on. And it's because we move away from what is organic and what is healthy for us, and we go through that because we make a culture change we made.
Yes, but that culture change, we still look again, like we said, what changes the culture is knowledge, right? So what persons in my profession do, right? Our job is to create demand. Yes, our job is to create demand even where demand doesn't exist for the products and services we're trying to sell. That is our job.
But then again, we have to put it at a price where me and you can buy it. That because we could talk about it, and this is a cultural thing. But sometimes the things are so expensive that we know that is ours that we cannot buy. So we go to the hot dog and we go to the bacon. They're expensive, but they get more.
But the point I'm making is the other cultures have that marketing force behind it, utilizing it started with cable TV and so forth. Now it's the World Wide Web. Marketing, putting that to our kids and our persons,
To
putting them
us.
under that pressure that if you're not eating hot dog and sausage in the morning and your mom
You
gave
can
you
surf- you
some
can
fried
survive.
titiri with a piece of bakes and some cocoa tea, that is an inferior breakfast
Yes.
compared to
To
the
the
sausage
Yeah.
and the
with-
waffle
with-
and the pancake
there we go, and the Nesquik
and
all
the
of that.
syrup on top of it.
There we go, which is unhealthy.
Yes.
Now, what are we as a culture doing to protect our culture? What are we doing to market the value in our breakfast, in our food, to say to the rest of the world, you guys are talking crap. What you are eating may fill your stomach, but it will kill you in 20 years.
And that's the question.
what we
What
eat
is
is
our
going us-
culture? That's coming back to my sin because we still the culture. Okay, you go to Africa or you go to Asia, you go to Europe, right? Europeans eat all this beef and this female bacon and all. That is their food. We in the Caribbean, we know a kind of the fig and blogger with coconut oil. If you don't have meat, you just eat fig and blubber and coconut, a cup of black sage, and you go to school or something, roast sprat or something.
Yeah, that's the point I was
And you
making.
go to school. This is what we grew up on, and we survived that. We didn't kill us. It didn't make us overweight. It didn't make us obese. It didn't make us any of the things. Like we still remain healthy because they were all organic at the time, right?
And it was balanced. Look at the nutritional value in what you eat.
You got fig.
There is carbohydrate,
Iron,
there is protein,
potassium.
there is healthy fats, there is all the things that you need.
We had it made, and we thought that is poor food, but the poor food is what we are going to be surviving on still
Who
right
taught you
now.
it was poor food?
The over people over so.
All right. So
Right.
that's the problem we have.
Yes,
We are allowing other
influence.
persons to
Exactly.
influence our culture. And we, in return, are not trying to protect and even in re-influence or re-educate them about what they're doing. And as such, we're putting ourselves, our young persons, it's the same fads we have like, what was this new bag? Sprayground bags, the new bags, the $400 bags.
I have no idea
Right.
because I can't afford it, so I don't know the
This
name.
is a bag with some anime thing on it. It's about $450, I think, for one.
Okay.
Right? For kids to go to school. And a lot of kids are putting their parents under pressure to get me this bag to go to school. Because guess what? When I will put on this bag and I go to school, I'm going to look cool.
And everybody's going to see that I have it. Yeah.
We're going to think, well, I think I'm worthy. Right? But they don't think you're worthy. They think your bag is worthy. And here's what: when you stop on many of them and you open the bag, it's a pillow inside the bag. It's going to stuff the bag so the bag maintains its form and its shape, but there is no books and stuff inside that bag, which is, matter of fact, even if there's books in your bag, it makes no sense if the information from the book is not in your head. Nobody is educating our youngsters on that. No one is saying to our parents, hey, yes, it's cool to be trendy and being fat, and if you can afford it, it's great. But be careful the message that you're sending to this kid. Be careful what you're teaching them, because this is now their experience. As far as they're concerned, when they become parents, they must supply their kids with the latest trends and the latest fad, or else they're not being a good parent. And is that what
this is misguided? This is misguided love, I always say.
All right. So
because
the mental problem.
Yes. And like I was making the point that in Africa, they eat the skuma wiki, the ugali, the whatever. This is their food. That's their culture. And regardless of which place in the world that they travel, they're eating that food. Yeah? Same with the other nations. But we tend to just gravitate to whatever they send us, like the KFC and the Subways and the just name it.
But not just
why.
Why?
But there's a reason why. Because, oh, come on, like I tell you, people in my profession, this is what we do. This is our job. We went to university. We have years of experience learning how to do this. This is what we do. We study you. We study your behavior. We study your weaknesses. We study your strengths. And we represent these things to you in a form and fashion and at a place and at a time where you want to receive it, where you're susceptible to receiving it, where you're open to this communication, where it connects with you on a personal level. Why do we eat? We eat to satisfy hunger.
Yes, basically that's it.
Okay, so why would it make a difference if the chicken we're going to eat is fried, stewed, baked, or whatever? Because we've studied you and we know what your preferences are. And we know not just to tell you that you're eating chicken and this chicken is tasty, but because you need more than that to make our chicken preferential. So we tell you, when you eat that chicken, first of all, you have the best chicken in the world. It's that golden crispy, golden food.
Yes, golden crust and
crunch and all of that. And we put the music in it to connect with you on a cultural level. And we present it in such a way. And hey, on top of that, when you eat our chicken, you're not just eating chicken.
You're dancing and eating chicken too?
You're the trendy chicken eater. So our persons want to eat that because they want to be recognized socially as the trending.
So, we are idiots then. Say it.
But
yes, we are idiots.
We are allowing ourselves
to become idiots. Yes, because if this is what it is, and we are, and a lot of us are thank God for travel. A lot of us know what it's all about. So I gonna be like the bad news person. I'm gonna come and I say, okay, you know what? Stop eating that vegan blog and all this kind of thing, because this is for when the poor people we didn't have money and everything. You can now buy bacon and you can eat a burger and you can eat this and you can eat that. Now me go and start eating that now. My belly's starting to get big in front of me like so. My arms and so are spreading like they put butter on me. You understand? I'm spreading. But I just say the education. And generally, we've been talking about it forever. And people do not accept the education that you're trying to give them when it comes to eating healthy and so, because it is easier to take your money and just go and buy something fast and eat. Even on Sundays, now people don't cook in their house. When you're growing up on Sunday, you had the rice, the chicken, the beans, the whatever. We had a full all-out meal. Now people don't even thinking about it. They're looking to see where open to go buy something for their children.
Or not on the table.
No.
But I do agree with Jelani that we are not doing enough to protect our cultural products and traditionally what we've been using. And I'll give a classical example. At one time, they made us feel that coconut oil was one of the worst things to be
Cholesterol high as a kite when you use it.
And on top of that, there was I can't remember anybody coming out to say in our defense of we using our coconut oil, the few of us at that time, when that outside influence was coming and influencing us and making us use the coconut oil far less. There was no agent or body that came out and say, hey, this is no true, there is no truth to that. Continue using your coconut oil is the best thing. I don't know what raised up after, and we catch ourselves again and realizing that our coconut oil is the best
Listen,
or the best thing
when
to
we were
use.
growing up, we used coconut oil from our head right down to we toe. When they just we shining like glass because of the coconut oil. We eat it, we wear it, we cook, we everything on the coconut oil.
Here's a big challenge. It's not even that. Here's where I think we need to zero in, right? Where the real issue is. Like just made this point, so we're going to use the coconut oil. Where are our scientists who went to school with these same scientists who put in that information out? Probably even did better than them at school. Where are our scientists defending coconut oil?
We have a call.
We have a call coming in. Good morning.
Good morning. Had to just jump in here quickly on this one. Good morning, everyone
Good
Good
morning.
morning, good morning.
in the studio there. It was a marketing strategy
Mm-hmm.
by the major glamour girls, big companies, to get their products sold.
Olive oil.
Now, olive oil, and there
Mm-hmm.
you go. All these different oil, Kaluna oil, corn oil, and all these
Mm-hmm.
different things, right? Now they've seen a bigger market with coconut oil. You could even get coconut oil now in BJ's and Costco's and all
Mm-hmm.
the major outline stores, Target and all of them, Walmart and all of them. It's the same thing they did why marijuana is number one on the control drug list. Because of hemp, marijuana, you have a marijuana, you could do so much things with marijuana. Pharmaceutical companies are the ones behind that. So they took a lot of our stuff, told us that it wasn't good for us, and instead of we just not being not having the knowledge or the ability to do our own research to test things and see that coconut oil doesn't boost your cholesterol and so forth and so forth, we just went with it.
Mm.
Yeah.
And
Run with it.
we run with it, and we as a people, we adapt. We kind of move to a lifestyle of adaptation. We
Yeah.
adapt to everything other
Mm.
than ours.
Yeah.
So we go to Canada, we adapt to. I remember going to Canada, landing in Canada Friday night, last flight in, and meet up with some friends on Finch out on Jane and Finch in the back out there
Mm.
to play soccer the next day. And guys who I went up on the plane with the very night before was talking about Jamaican and the Yardies on the field.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they
You
adapt to the
understand?
Jamaican language totally.
They
That's what I
adapt to
say. Yeah.
all these things.
Mm-hmm.
They come here into the US. They are same thing. I know people will tell you, me, if I see breadfruit I don't want to see breadfruit ever in my life again. You know,
Mm-hmm.
because I ate so much of that growing up. But now, some of them now, in conversation just a couple of weeks, based on the prices of food stuff,
Mm.
the same food stuff that's not good for us. Now, just this morning, so boy, I had to go the road. Yo, you're going on the street, you're passing anyway by a green grocer, pick up some yam and banana thing, and when you come out, give you the money now.
Mm-hmm. The same
You
food that
understand?
they didn't want before.
The same food that you see them don't want to get.
Mm-hmm.
They're telling you straight up, me buy no bakanek and no chicken foot and chicken wing and then, yeah.
Yes.
Now the powers to be on the market, realizing now that the oxtail and the steak and the things are so expensive now. Now they're raising the price of chicken wings and chicken foot. Chicken foot now is nearly
Chicken
the
food is
same
very
price as chicken wing.
expensive. Yes.
Very,
Yes.
very expensive.
Mm-hmm. And there's a reason for that.
Right? Yeah, they're raising the price also. So because they realize people not running behind those steak and this oxtail and the delicacy meats,
Mm.
so they're not losing. Again,
Mm.
it's all about marketing.
Mm-hmm.
What they lose on one side, they'll regain it on the other.
And the culture of the people that buy it,
Right?
the culture of us is who buys that.
It's who buy it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so
You're
very
going to
much.
spend You're going to spend $100 for a pound oxtail is like 60
16,
something,
yeah. A box is 60
you know,
something. A pound is about $16 based on the last thing that I heard.
right? No, a pound oxtail now, $20, close to 20, 21, $22,
Okay.
something, all right? But if you buy 1 pound oxtail, by the time it's done, it's melting
Pure
in the pot.
facts. Yes, pure facts.
It melt, okay? You eat it and you don't really get. But if you cook some back in it, let's say for instance you stew your curry or your stew some back in it with some white yam and some banana and sweet potato or even plantain or burger, and you eating that for lunch, dinner, and you're still waking up. If you have anything remain, you eating it for breakfast.
Yes. That is backyard.
Yeah.
Tastes so good.
Yes.
Yeah,
I pray that with them.
yeah,
I eating my food.
yeah.
Exactly.
But
Proper
my food I
staple
eating.
foods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so
I
very
had
much.
some. You guys welcome. Have a
Thank you.
great day.
Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah.
And what
Very
he's saying
valuable
has a lot of
contribution.
truth
Yeah.
to it because, as I say, sometimes you go home and it's fig and oil and a black cup of black seed. You go down sleep at night, is that and corn spread. But you see the thing about it, as he says, the marketing people, they study our culture. They study us down to a T, as Jelani says they do. And they realize that we do not have any staying power in anything at all. So we adapt to anything that is sent our way.
Yeah,
So,
that's it.
Listen,
so
for me, I understand that is the issue. The question is, what are we prepared to do about it?
well,
Because guess
nothing.
what? We have marketing people here too. Look at one sitting in front of you,
Who?
right?
Yeah, you?
That's
Right. What are you doing?
right. So so here's what we presented with some facts about uh about our coconut oil.
Mm-hmm.
We have the scientists to assess and relook the research that was done on the coconut oil. We have the same scientists that can do their own research on our coconut oil and can present their findings and their facts about our coconut oil.
Right.
Right? None of that is happening. So then we've left our people to accept the information, which again says to me that even if we sat in the same class, took the same lecture, graduated with the same degrees, we still feel that these people's education is more valuable than
yes. And that's the thing. We go to that culture thing that if you go to the same school and so on, Jester is white. Well, Jester is the one that has it all. He knows more about what we do in the class than what you do. And that again is a culture shock for us.
Mhm.
We cannot accept that I made it into that class with that same man. We don't accept the same because we always put people on a pedestal
Look at
to make them higher than us.
Go ahead.
Go on. I tell you something. What is claiming about all this CMSE and when it comes to we have a call, you take the call. We always want to take the call.
Good morning, Duchess.
Good morning, Clay.
Good morning.
Morning, Jester.
Good morning
And
to you.
morning, Mr. Good.
Good morning.
Wait, hold on here. You get Claire, you get Jester, and Mr. Glenn. What is this? Go ahead.
What?
Jealousy as it
Don't,
happens.
don't even bother with that. Don't let your pressure over.
Go right ahead.
We have been confused by a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Clay, I fight for coconut oil, and I get lash for coconut oil. Let me tell you. In growing up, they couldn't afford those fancy cream and whatnot and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you know, before I go into it, you know what does bother me? It bothers me a lot that we have people who today who do not want to identify with those things.
Mm. Yeah, they
don't want to identify coconut oil and Vaseline and lard and things. I don't know why. They don't want to identify with it.
It makes them feel poor.
But in growing up, we couldn't afford cream and whatnot, so we knew it was Vaseline and things. So it happened one day, to go to school, there was no Vaseline. Only thing available was coconut oil. So I can't tell if I just take a little bit of coconut oil or if I bathe the coconut oil. But it so happened go to school, This girl now see me and she say, "Why coconut oil, coconut oil?" Okay, I use the coconut oil on her.
Okay.
I use, I use the coconut oil on her. Her mother and my mother were good friends. Would have go and tell her mother, thing, and her mother go and complain as usual or whatnot. Claire, I get a whooping just for my coconut, just for my coconut oil. Okay, I don't dig nothing, I didn't say nothing. And she felt happy. As she get what she get from me for me coconut oil. And my mother give me what she had to give me from the coconut oil. So it happened that sometime after, we make me little coconut fudge. And I go in school with coconut fudge. And she want to be friendly with me now, she want coconut fudge. And my thing is that if you want the coconut fudge, you have to take what my mother give me for my coconut oil. Yeah, if she had a deal, we had a deal.
Mm-hmm.
If you want the coconut fudge, what my mother gave me for the coconut oil, you have to give you. I giving you back before you get the coconut.
That is blows. So
Before you heard anything about coconut oil, coconut oil, coconut oil. Would you believe that when I visited the state, I went to a store and I saw a lady with a few bottles of coconut oil in her trolley. Well, I knew the lady, she knew me based on where I was working before. And I was like, and she said, "Hey, you don't know how good that is. You don't know how good that is." I said, "Well, how good?" I said, "Look at it, you know." You said, "Match." She said, "Yes, I know. Coconut berry oil." I said, "Really? It's good." She said, "Good for the skin." When I heard the lady say that, I said,
All that blue.
coconut oil.
mm-hmm.
Not oil. The same can get leaks for where that's a girl see me with it and she say, "Oh, coconut oil, coconut oil." No, coconut oil is being sold in stores
Yeah.
and things.
They even have it cold pressed
And,
right now.
and people
Yeah.
are buying it. People are buying it
Mm-hmm.
and use it and scream and whatever on the skin. So you see, sometimes the people at the top, I believe when they want to come down on the small islands and then they want to come down on us, they tell us all kind of thing about what we are using.
Mm-hmm.
Not good. But when they do what they call the research
Mm-hmm.
and they see how important it is, they are the ones now that take it. They take it. Or we say they run with it
Mm-hmm.
and want to come now and buy it from them.
And we do.
After they would have come down on us and, I mean, had the worst thing to say about us or the product that we was using. No, that product is so essential. It becomes a money-making product.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much for that point. We're going to call back when you get another thing.
Coconut oil, I give from the coconut oil and I get from.
I hear you. I hear you, Mama. Yeah. Thank you. Later. All right. Bye-bye. Yeah, give up the blows. If she get blows to her mother, give her blows too. And she coconut oil.
Well, look at that. Look at this example here. No, I want to just draw something so because I don't want us to lose that point.
Mm-hmm.
Coconut oil. Imagine today you have bottles of coconut water. I'm talking about being sold in the US and other supermarkets. Right? You have coconut water. You have coconut condensed milk. Coconut. Well, I could call it evaporated milk.
Coconut.
What is
The powder.
milk? Coconut powdered milk, right? Being sold. If our parents understood the market value of this, and this is what we could have done with our coconut, you think we'd have been in trouble to find coconut trees today?
No, not at all. Not at all. We cut them down and build houses.
Right. But the genesis of these things comes from the belief within us as a people that we have the potential and the know how to do this. And we do. We do have the human resource, we have the human capacity. All we need to take is the time off to plan and to execute. We have the people and the capacity to do it. What we're lacking is the conviction because the culture that we currently possess does not afford us the opportunity to believe in ourselves and to believe in a future that we can plan, we can predict the future with accuracy because we can plan and execute how to get there.
That is very true.
You look at, for example, our dark chocolate that is now world renowned and so on.
Mhm.
It's well accepted by all Grenadians. Why? Because someone out there
Make
came
it.
back to us and told us that dark chocolate is a
Is that
thing.
70% you eat
Right.
that and you're good?
We're like, whoops, we have the best dark chocolate. Let me give you another one. Let's look at our CMOS.
Oh,
CMOS has about 90 something, 90 something micronutrients out
Yeah.
of the 120 something the body requires,
Mhm.
right? Can you imagine if we place the same vision and emphasis that we're not seeing what's happening with the coconut oil, that we do the same with our CMOS and with our soursop and with the things that we have here. So we no longer are just planning for our society, but that is the export culture. But we have to go out there and convince those markets, hey, you have a need, you're dying, you have cancer, you have all these things. Here are some foods, here are some things that can work. Can you combine the coconut oil with the CMOS and do hair products, do skin products, do not just to eat and consume, but what is the chain we could make from those things?
The chain of
What is
events.
now the market opportunity for our people, the wealth we could give our people, and the confidence that not only we can do this in soursop and
And CMOS.
coconut and CMOS and chocolate, but we may be able to use our ginger to do something.
I think the CMOS thing is catching on to us here because I mean a lot of us is there we are into CMOS and because of the nutritional value of it. I do CMOS, I have it in the fridge. I cut a piece every morning and make a smoothie or something because I know the importance of having the CMOS with it. You could just have it a cup of tea. And the person that introduced me to doing the CMOS just like that is my good friend that deceased Donna. She says you don't boil your CMOS. You boil your cinnamon and your nutmeg and your clove and everything, and then when it boils, just throw your CMOS in and let it melt, and then you blend. So this is what, and then when I blend it, I put it in the fridge, and every morning I cut it like cheese if to make a smoothie out of it. So I think it's catching on. But again, the CMOS that we have here and we export it, they take it also, it goes overseas and they make it into something that resembles CMOS drink than what we make and send it back for us to buy here also.
So that's the point.
Yes.
Well, the point is, should not just look at CMOS as a food, like what we could eat or drink, but what is its potential for hair products? So
you're adding value.
added value to this.
Yes.
We could produce it here.
And send the gel.
No, we should be the ones selling those products, not our CMOS is not for sale.
No.
And we have the best CMOS in the world.
Totally.
Because the environment around Grenada is wonderful. The kick up Ginny or whatever.
The sulfur that is coming from there. Oh, yes.
Capacity it has, and therefore the market value of what we have here. But not just look at the product and the services and what, but look at culturally what is. This is how you create a culture shift.
And I want to make just one point before I leave.
What is the point? Let's go. By the way, I to say you're having titiri and fry bakes right now.
Good friends.
We want to hear roast bakes, not fry bakes.
Roast bakes, titiri and fry bakes is a disaster for me right now.
And
Too much oils.
I think around now, I think we might be having heads of government summiting of the Caribbean leaders. But today
we have a call before you go. That and we have to take that one. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I am good.
Good morning. Good morning, my friend. I'm kind of vexed with you, but that's okay. No, this is not the place for that. That's okay.
Fix him when you get him.
Good morning, Jester. How are you?
Good morning, Sam. All right.
Right. Jelani, thanks for sending back that topic this morning. In a form that I can open it. I finally understood it. Anyway, we are talking about mental health and the aspect of culture and how that affects that, correct?
Yeah.
Right. So, like I told you, Claire, I'm back in university with my daughter, going for a master's this time. And this is one of the courses that she actually took where they're looking at different cultures and how to tailor the mental health system to better cater to them. So as we discuss in the different cultures, for instance, a native person in Canada who seeking mental health, we have to take in consideration all the little nuances about that culture
Mm-hmm.
and how best we can tailor what we know into their culture so that they can get the maximum out of it.
Right.
But if we can bring it back home now, here into Grenada, as we know, I'm championing men's health. So men now, we the home provider, we are the uh, the the rock, so as we call it, at the
Mm-hmm.
home. To go and seek mental health, that is something that have to take many men out of their comfort zone completely
Right.
in order to do that. So that in itself is a task, much less to actually go to someone, sit down and start spilling your guts, literally, so to speak. So the confidence to go to that person to say, yes, this person's going to keep what I say to them confidential. One, being able to help me to get past the situation I'm trying to deal with. And, you know, Lord forbid I have to go to this person and the office is right in the middle of town and everybody see me going to see Dr. X.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things going on um, culturally that we need to take in consideration when it comes to mental health. Even children, women, um, adolescents, you're telling someone you're going to see a therapist or you're talking to a counselor, why you need to do that? Yeah, you're a big man, you're a big girl, you can handle your scenes,
Mm-hmm.
local balance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Handle your scenes. I'm not handling my scenes. My scenes is a disaster. So how could I be handling a disaster by myself? I need help. So these are the little things that I see in terms of, you know, the Caribbean, as Jolani said, is a melting pot, a melange of cultures. And each one that came into the Caribbean has been changed and changed to fit into the Caribbean way. And I think that in the Caribbean and in Grenada specifically, we need to start tailoring things that can help us move forward in a way that everybody is doing better, not just mentally, physically, economically, socially, the whole all manners of health.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to do that, it takes a collective. It's unity. Everybody have to be on the same page. So that will take some mental shift for some. Some people is already there. Accepting where they are and trying to do better to move forward. Others is going to be a tug of war to trying to get them to a place where, even for themselves, to see themselves differently, to behave differently, to act differently, and to think differently. It takes a big shift to make that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, you have certain men that just, and in the lack of better words, a male chauvinist. He doesn't see a woman to be his boss. He can't see a woman to be his prime minister. He can't see a woman to be his minister. He doesn't acknowledge that. That's just the way he's wired. Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
to try to get him to switch that and to come around and look at it differently, that's going to be an uphill climb with a 10-pound boulder on your back to be dragging every minute of it.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that person, you have to approach that person differently, speak to them differently to get them to see the approach you're trying to expose to them so that they can now understand what you're doing and understand the role these different people play in our society so that they can be accepted as a leader in their eyes, if you understand what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, Jelani, my friend, I understand what you're saying about all the different cultures that we have in the Caribbean. And I believe that's what makes us so unique. Um, I mean, even if you just look at our means or culinary arts, it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
We say golden apples, Trinidadians say something else, Jamaicans say
Pomsite.
something else.
Trinidad.
Then we can say jumplan, we say golden apple, pomsite, all kind of thing. Yeah.
All kinds of different things, right? But that when it comes back to the same, it's exactly the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So even right down to the language, how we speak and the way the phrases that we use, a lot of it is the same. It's just expressed slightly different.
Yeah.
So we are more similar than we are dislike. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I strongly believe that's what draws a lot of people to the Caribbean, um, as opposed to um, going to other
European
places.
countries.
Exactly.
Mm.
Yeah. Because when they come here, they get everything. Everything is here. Everything is here. Yeah, we have a little piece of little Italy, little India, Pakistan, the Middle East. All of it is
Brazil,
here.
yeah.
Everything is here in the Caribbean. All
Diversity.
of it is here.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're really and truly diverse. And I think we need to celebrate that more than trying to say you're different. We're not different. We're more alike than we are different, completely. That being similar is closer than being different, in my personal opinion.
Okay.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
very
Anyway,
very
much.
much. As
thank you.
usual. All right.
Take
Take
care.
care. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
All right. So
You gotta go, Jester. I'm gonna
it's
take
my
a
time.
quick break and switch you so you're out of our head right now.
Welcome to Take 5, your mental health program with CJ and Jester. With CJ and Jester. Welcome to Take 5.
Saturday, February 8th, 2025. Grenada, get ready as Idol City Sports presents its 5th annual Football Under the Lights, the annual night football competition. Roses Plainfield, St. Patrick.
Man of the match, dog. Send me money now. You get cash for hands.
$20,000 up for grabs. And the first place winner of the senior team will receive $4,000. Under 17, 1,500. Second place, 3,000. Under 17, 1,000. Plus, you can win individual prizes. Football under the lights, which runs from Saturday, February 8th until Saturday, May 3rd. And all teams will be coming up against the Rosen football team, the defending champion. Registration fee for senior team, $400. And under 17, you enter free. Teams will be able to register 20 players, and all players' uniform must be numbered. No unauthorized vending. To register, contact 538-7509 or 406-9580. One game will be played on weekdays and 2 games on the weekends. Game kicks off from 7 p.m. Kicks off Saturday, February 8th and ends on the 3rd of May, 2025. Idol Cities Football on the Light. Rosen Plainfield in St. Patrick.
Are you looking for that one local supermarket where you can purchase all your grocery and household items at the same time? Well, look no further. Smart Buy SA Belfon and Company Limited, located at the top of the town on Main Street, St. Patrick, is the ideal spot. They're open Sunday to Sunday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Mondays to Fridays, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Saturdays, and 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. on Sundays, just for your convenience. Call them today on 442-9219. That number again, 442-9219. We're shopping snacks at Snack Buy.
I didn't get anyone to start everything.
Services, we offer digitally calibrated machines, resurfacing engine heads, general machinery. Show us your pattern and we'll make it with precision machines. At Sugar's Repair Services, we satisfy your needs. Just ask and it will be done. Call us at 473-418-1845.
Welcome to Take 5, your mental health program with CJ and Jester. With CJ and Jester.
And we are back. And I think everybody had our conversation. We did turn our mics off, but it's good conversation. That's fine. So now it's just Jelani and I, and we're going to continue with talking about the culture and how it's going to shape us, how we're going to move it, and anything of that sort. So, hello to you, NP. Hope all is well. Yeah. somebody sent a message here. Any woman can go to see a doctor, male or female, by herself. Some men can't. How to put it? She said, some men can't just because of how they think mentally, especially if it's a female doctor. And that is true. That's the same thing that Nicholas was bringing up, that, you can't just go to, because people will all, will all say, something is wrong with him and all that. Thanks for letting us know. Mic was open. I just realized it was open. But as I say, we are discussing mental health and the culture. So thank you very much. It's a good thing we don't say bad things inside here. You see, stick to that. Yeah. So we're talking about how to move, how to shift the culture from what we know as things that we have here, things that we claim to be ours, but it's just been ripped out from us because we are not holding on to it.
Well, I think, like, for example, we have to understand how blessed we are, as Nicholas was pointing out, being that amalgamation of cultures, the melting pot that we are. We have the added advantage of creating our own culture from the knowledge, experiences, and the positives of all these different cultures, and putting it into our own context and environment and making it work for us, right? At the same time, we also have the privilege of weeding out from these cultures what we do not see as beneficial to us, and would help our culture to grow and us to grow as a people.
Things like what?
Okay. So for example, we choose to be a Christian nation. All right. So Christianity is what we push and what we support, and who we are as a people. That's what we've decided as a people. But that for all, you still have, you have the Rastafarian community, you have other communities who can coexist here together. So even if on our monies, you may see some statement about God, or in our pledge, or in our anthem, because that's who we are as a people. But we've grown as a nation um, to accept other cultures, in understanding that as a civilization, we must be able to coexist and achieve goals together, even if we have individual differences, and that we must embrace each other's and respect each other's differences. And that's how you grow as a people. Scholar sang that song that, she's only 50. As a nation, we're only 50 years old. And
51 now.
51, right?
Yeah.
And I think even you in your lifetime, and your experience from childhood to going past, at that type of age, how you've recognized that you've grown as an individual, you've grown as a person, but more so, you see your potential for further growth. You may be worried about the time you have left to grow that much, but you now see the potential for further growth. So we are on our way, we're on our path. But these are the types of conversations that we need to start having now if we really want to plan and direct a future for our people, that we can feel secure now, that our great grandchildren would be in a secure culture that we've created and developed and sown the seeds that is going to help it to grow and get to where it needs to at the time they're there, so that they can benefit from it.
You are a marketing person, we all know. We had that conversation about what we should do and who do we talk to, and how do we keep talking so that the light bulb can go off in somebody's head and say, what they're saying makes sense. Because my experience is this: you and I could talk till the cow come home and moo. The right people are not hearing us because they do not want to hear us. And when they do hear us, they make it feel as though, well, we are not the one that came up with the idea of doing it. It's not that I care who come up with the idea, is getting it done. But who do we talk to get it done?
Well, I think we're on the right path, because one voice or two voices may not be able to get it done. But I think 1,000 that can turn into 10,000, that turn into 50,000 voices clamoring and calling for, you're going to get heard. And I think, like I said, what is missing is that conviction to make that change, that commitment. We often speak of transformation. This is what is transformational. Transformation is not just about building new roads or new bridges or railways, and that's all.
Nice.
Transformation is about moving the lives of persons from one state to another. Maybe in such a drastic way that it's unexpected, or
Maybe shocked.
Yeah, it's shocking to achieve in such a short time. And that is the kind of thinking that is going to move and transform. Because as we're saying, we're talking here just about culture, but we can see how now culture can be marketed. We can see how we can create industries and create value chains out of our culture, from the foods we eat to the beverages we drink to the clothes we wear to the type of products that we can create and export. I could tell you this. I was creating soaps. I learned to make soap and skin lotion, things like lima coil and that kind of thing. While I was at Form 3, between Form 3 to Form 5 at McDonald College.
Yeah.
I've never made a soap since then.
So you lost it?
So imagine, with the knowledge that we now have about our coconut oil and our soursop and our sea moss, that I could have been doing my own business here locally, creating that industry. And because I can get the support and people believe in the local industry and what that can mean for other products and other areas we may be able to invest in, with that now creates an opportunity for me to grow, create employment, drive belief, drive, scientific research into our. So you see how many different areas. No, teachers will be teaching about that in school. Kids will be visiting my factory to do tours and to see what's happening there and to get how did I get this inspiration? How did we start there? What is the scientific process behind this? All of that. So we can totally have a shift and that transformation that we're looking for that would bring the economic rewards, but equally can protect our culture and create that capacity for growth without losing who we are as a people.
You said something just now that hit me here. We wear a lot of cosmetics like skin creams and lotions and potions and whatever it is that we do. We have face scrub and so I make my own face scrub when I feel like it. But then we have all these natural things here, cocoa fat, cocoa butter, and all this kind of thing. But we tend to stay away from those things. Although they are really healthy for our skin, we tend to stay away from them and go to the supermarket or to the pharmacy and buy something that has just that wee bit of cocoa butter in it. Not a lot of cocoa butter. And we use it and think that it is the
Just
best
to
thing
say it
since
has cocoa
sliced.
butter and add value.
Yes. And the best thing since life. When you put it on your skin is cracking. I personally cannot use Vaseline on my skin and coconut oil put it together. But I can make a scrub that I have coconut oil and sea salt and whatever it is. And I can give my body a good scrub and I'm fine with that.
But that may be because the research hasn't gone into persons with sensitive skin. How can we make our products still usable for persons who have sensitive skin?
Yeah. And I have sensitive skin, so I have to be careful what I use. But I'm saying that a lot of stuff that is made here that we have here, we tend not to support the cocoa fat, the cocoa butter, and so we will prefer to get those that have the perfumes in it and it's in a attractive bottle. And that's where you come in the marketing people. You put in a bottle and then everybody uses it, and then they're not normally good for our skin because as I have sensitive skin, I cannot use any and anything. And then I'll use it and I say, oh my gosh, well, what caused my skin to break out? What I do, I get a rash. And I bypass the cocoa butter and the shea butter and everything that we have here. So when we're starting to market things, we have to start marketing what we have here than what we see at Kodago. Good morning. Mason, good morning. How are you, honey?
Good, good, good. This is really a good topic that you guys have today about the different cultures. And I'm going through it right now because, as you know, my daughter just got engaged and her fiance is Tamil.
Okay.
He's Sri Lankan, so he's Tamil. And it's just that I'm learning so much now about different cultures. And, my son shared something with me. He came for the engagement party and my son-in-law's mom was there and he went to hug her, when we meet people, we greet them. And she kind of like, the way she put her hand out is like, you would think that he was going to attack her. So I spoke to Hishan and I said, but, like, apparently what he explained to us is like men don't hug
No, they don't.
women, so it's us learning his culture. Like, I had a birthday celebration over the weekend and the dad came and I swear to God, that man brought so much food, like different food that I don't even know what the foods are. So again, I have to ask him like, what is this? What is, and try to explain what it is. So that is the And it can really take, because my son kind of, he felt a how when the way the lady, I mean, she didn't push him, but she kind of like block him away. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
like back off, right? And it is, so it is a great topic because he felt a how when the lady did that to him, but
Mm-hmm.
then we're just trying to understand like what's going on. And I'm asking my son-in-law to, to teach me, like tell me, I don't want to step,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go like I don't want to. What is it I'm saying? I don't want to disrespect anyone. I
Yeah,
just
don't
want to
offend.
know
Mhm.
and just to, and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that is a really really good topic that you guys having today, and and people can really learn a lot from it.
Thank you so much,
Well,
babes.
Claire, don't let her run off here just
Don't
yet.
go off
I have
your
a
Jester.
question for her because it really boils back to what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, caller.
Good
w-
morning.
what I'm really interested in is from your perspective, sitting where you are as a mom, trying to support your daughter and her new journey with your son-in-law, as
Mm-hmm.
well as protecting your other son, which is part of your family, trying to adapt to their culture and understand what are the things that they see as being offensive and so forth, and
Mm-hmm.
also how has it been trying to get them to understand what is your culture? Because it seems to me from what you've said already that you've submitted your culture to theirs so that you don't offend them. But are they taking steps also to not offend you and your culture?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Because like he shuns, like my son-in-law,
Hmm.
he's been around us for like over 3 years. He even came to Grenada with us. He loved
Mm-hmm.
Grenada.
Yes, he did.
And he's more he's more West Indian than you can think.
Hmm.
His brothers, they embrace us, and our culture is different, so they love our culture. He come the way we interact, like my husband and I mean, my daughter and I, we talk to each other, we do things. In their culture, they don't do that.
Right.
So the brothers are amazed. They want to always be here. But the father I just met, the father is okay, I mean, and then, but the mother is kind of a little, she's shy. She doesn't speak much English. And, it's just a matter of me learning their culture. And I think like they came to the house and they're very open, with us and, but I think it's just that just learning their culture and where, things that we should say or things that we should do and what's not acceptable and all that. But, I think it's okay. But I'm not worried about my son-in-law himself because
Hmm.
like I said, he goes to all the soca parties. He just
Yes.
loves. He wants to move to Grenada actually.
Tell him hold off.
Yeah, so it's just his parents because even like on Saturday was my birthday, so I dressed and then so the top I had on was kind of like revealing a little
Mm-hmm.
chest thing, and then I thought, oh no, the dad is here, so let me at least put something just to cover it so it doesn't,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know what how they would feel about it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I don't want to offend them or in any way, but it's just a matter of me just learning what they're doing. And I think they have accepted ours. And I know for the brothers, they really, really, really love it. They love to be around us,
Well,
So,
good.
so can you see can
So,
you see for someone else, another family
mhm,
being in this situation, how they could
mhm.
find that adaptation period mentally stressful?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, again, you have to be open, like just be open and just embrace it. If like I said, my daughter is happy and they're happy and he's been coming around for like 3 years. They're best friends. So I'm really, really not worried about them, but it's just that I would take the time to learn their culture.
Mhm.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I think they are adapting to our culture and they come and I mean I send food home all the time and when my son-in-law by the time he gets home they eat all the food. And it's like jerk chicken, stew, this, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
But what
So
Jay was asking you to do you think it's going to be tough? Is it going to be tough for other parents that has the same situation that you are in? Other people that has to go through that. Do you think it's going to be easy for them to adapt, or is it going to be a bit hard for them to adapt?
well, you know what? It depends on the individual.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people don't like to change. They don't, it's like my way or no way, and they're not
Mm-hmm.
willing to learn,
Right.
to take the time to try to learn you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, gotcha.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay.
All
Take care
right.
then. Bye bye. We'll
Okay.
chat later.
Bye bye.
Okay.
Bye bye.
So this is one of my peeps that live in Toronto. So, yes, but you see, and I know Haitian, and I know her daughter because I know them since they were babies. So she's a really good friend of mine. So I understand because as he came to Grenada, he went to different places, he eat different foods and all this, and they love the food. And I think the unique thing about us in the Caribbean is that there's so much diversity and so much food that it's not hard to like anything at all that you see here. Especially if you have the taste buds to try anything. I don't have the taste buds to try anything, so
So
yeah.
here's my just my concern, right?
We have 5 minutes to 12.
Yeah.
Do you think that's yeah?
Well, be very quick. My concern with that is simply some cultures are more liberating than others.
Yes.
So we're in a very liberal culture, type of culture. So persons can find freedom in our culture, in our space very easily. But think of making the other transition. Think of now her son having to move to Sri Lanka and meet with a traditional family from there. Is he going to find it just as easy to adapt? Is it going to be tougher for him because he's not in the liberal part, residing in the liberal life that he's used to, but is more in a confine that he can't meet his maybe his sister and hug her as he usually his mom, because in that culture men just don't do that. Can he make those adjustments? Will he be comfortable making those adjustments? What is going to be the mental toll on him?
You mean a non like a Grenadian, like a Caribbean person going into a different?
Yes.
It's going to be tough.
So it's going to be tough.
It's going to be really tough.
So some of these are. Well, I'm just hoping that our listening audience could appreciate how just changing in cultures and being in different species can have that type of effect on you as the individual. And create a lot of stress. Like for me, when I travel, there are places when I travel, I live probably on bread and water for 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, because you cannot eat the food.
I can't eat the food. I can't, and there are lots of foods that I don't trust. Whether it's good for me, whether that's what's actually there. You have concerns about it, or sometimes the way in which it's prepared and so forth. So you get reactions to it and so forth. So I just take the safe route and live on what I can survive on, and
with crackers.
crackers and that type
So
of thing.
next time we're going places.
Right, those types of things, right? So that in itself is a so you can imagine when I travel somewhere, I just can't wait to get back
Just to
home.
come back home. Yeah.
And the longer you have to stay, the more irritating it becomes. And you often hear of people when they travel say they have homesickness and they can't describe what it is. They don't know how to explain
A
it.
lot of stuff.
But it's the culture you've left, and you're now in a new culture where you for a length of time now you can't experience the culture that you used to, and so it creates that stress and that depression and that drama for you, and as a result of that, it has its toll on you as an individual and your mental health.
So yes, so the culture of and so can really impact us mentally, and that we have to. Some of us can talk about it to different friends and kind of get a feel of it. Others we do have to go get therapy to get over the cultural shock of it, especially when we migrate to a different country and have to start living our lives differently. As it says, many cultural and societal norms and beliefs impact the diagnosis and treatment of people with mental health conditions. Stigma, discrimination, racism, and stereotyping all negatively impact mental health and treatment outcomes. As such, professionals must be aware of cultural and societal impacts and aim to provide equal, appropriate, and compassionate treatment to all who utilize mental health services. That's it. Because we go through things differently. We take on things differently. And like I said, the guy told me I'm a soul away slave. That mentally affected me until I could still talk about the whole conversation, because I'm like, if I'm a soul away slave, I didn't sell myself, you sell myself. And I stick to that. And that's why I said to you, what is our culture?
Did you ever question yourself? What type of culture must he have grown up in that will make him make such a statement?
I know the culture I may
To a
grow up in.
stranger.
The culture I grew up in is men has the right to ask a woman anything, and the woman has a right to accept what he says, because I am a prince.
Yes.
You understand?
So
And that is the culture. And women are on the back burner and men are up there. And that's it. It's simple.
so I think one of the lessons from this for me is it doesn't matter what culture you're from. It doesn't matter how your culture evolves and where it's going. It does not excuse you from not being a mature, responsible human being, despite the culture you remains in. So respect, courtesy, being open, maybe explaining something to somebody that they does not understand, saying, "Hey, sir, I understand that this is where you're from, but
Mhm.
where I'm from is quite the opposite, actually. And our men don't approach and speak to our women that way. We have a cultural difference. Maybe you can't get past that divide. So here's a good example why we shouldn't even be trying to grow a friendship, because we are just going to irritate each other.
Exactly.
And we move on
Just
peacefully,
peacefully, yes.
to get that kind of understanding and so forth, rather than get into a head-butting over a cultural clash.
That's true.
That's not going to
Doesn't make
resolve
any
itself in
sense.
that way. Or you could come together, discuss it, and say, hey, okay, so when I'm speaking to you, this is the way I need to speak to you coming from that culture. And you understand dealing with me, I'm from that culture, so you can deal with me in this way that is okay with me.
Yes.
And so you have that new emergence, that how we deal with each other in our new space.
Let's get together on the marketing thing. We got to market our products so that more people uses it, and
Absolutely.
that's the thing.
Absolutely. And that's the culture shift that, to me, that's the culture shift we need the most. For far too long, we've been allowing other cultures to export their cultures, their foods, their ideas, their policies onto us, and we just accept it and adapt and try to make the best out of it, because we've been cultured into thinking from since way back that whatever Massa and where Massa is from says is better than what we can say for ourselves. So that's one part of it. So we now need to be looking in the direction as to how we can best create value for ourselves, which means protecting the parts of our history and our culture that is meaningful to us, how we can create value out of what we have and export that to the world and show them the value in that, not the other way around. So we also get to share our culture with the world, and gain some economic value from it whilst doing that as well.
Thank you so very much, Jay. It is 1 minute after the noon hour. We went over a minute, but that's fine. And culturally, we are taught to say good morning to everybody that we meet. And when you go to different countries and you say good morning, they're watching you as who are you and where did you come from?
Absolutely.
So culturally, so it's a lot of cultural shock that is going on. So let me say thank you to all our Take Five fans and the family that checked in online, and those who are listening to us via the airways. Thank you to Spice Ram 94.9 in We Noise FM in New York. Thank you to Mr. Williams out there in Grandertown for always broadcasting. We'll see you all next Tuesday. If I have to, and it depends on what topic I have, I'll pull in Mr. Jelani Glenn again, because here is a wealth of information for every one of us. So thank you so very much, and take care. We'll see next week. And